Just like water.
We are live.
Okay. Okay, it's 7:00 p.m. We're picking up from the 5 o'clock meeting today, July 6, 2023, for the Bold School District, where we called the meeting to order and we passed a motion to fix the time to which to adjourn to 7:00 p.m. today, July 6th. So we now have a quorum present with members Sheehan, Bowen, Buchtel, and member Frank present at the meeting. So with that, we'll move to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda? Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by member Sheehan and seconded by member Buchtel to approve the agenda for the special session today, July 6th. Any discussion? Edits, changes? Okay. We'll move to vote then. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries to approve the agenda. Item 4 is our recognition of visitors to the board meeting. And with that, we have 3 members in the audience, Amy Schmidt as administration, and anyone online at this point? Not yet.
Yep, 3.
Three online. Okay. So thank you for coming tonight. And with that, then we'll move on to new business. So with that, we'll go to item A to entertain a motion to submit the review and comment document to the MDE. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded by members Bowen and Buchtel. I believe we'll have discussion, and and Jim, do you want to start us out?
Yeah, so I'll just, I'm going to move the camera here so we can see at home. We'll watch the presentation of the most recent survey results by Peter Leatherman. So.
Yeah, feel free to move around and you can see the screen better.
Yeah, I'm sitting in good chairs. Yeah, you can see the beer.
Okay. I hope this looks better once we start the presentation. Okay.
Everybody, you can see the screen okay?
Yep.
All right.
Peter, if you could just introduce yourself quick, if you don't mind, just for anybody else that may be watching.
It's TV.
Everybody, Peter Leatherman, the managing partner of the Morris Leatherman Company for Minneapolis, and have been doing bowling for 29 years in the state of Minnesota and across the upper Midwest. So it's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon, or to be virtually with you this afternoon. Just to review with everybody what we undertook. This is a large sample. We spoke with 500 randomly selected residents across the community. 500 samples projected plus or minus 4.5%, identified out of 100 cases. This was a shorter survey, more concentrated than the one we did earlier this year in February. So the average interview time odontology. Get 25% that have been in the district for 10 years or less. Well, you have 27% that have been in the district for over 30 years. Median on this one comes in at about 18 years in typical residents of this district. 15% have preschooler or an infant in their household. 20% have a child attending the whole school district, and 77% are empty nesters. And once again, like I mentioned earlier this year, empty nester does not imply an age, just lack of presence of a child. So you can have a 32-year-old without a child, and they're an empty nester. And as we go through the data, that basically 8 out of 10 people do not have a child, you're not kind of your main constituency, shall we say, for the school district. 23% indicated that they were renters. Median comes in right at about $110,000 typical house. Owner indicates their house is valued at. Continuing, 36% were high school graduates class, 30% had some college experience, 34% were college graduates. You can see the geographic distribution, 46% from the city of Olivia, 21% Rhode Island, 5% Lake Lillian, 28% in the remaining areas of the district. 20% of the sample indicated that they own agricultural property. And then the final set of demographics, 23% were 18 to 34-year-olds, while 40% were over the age of 55. On this one, I think it comes in just short of 50 years. The typical resident is years old. 2% more female than women. And like I mentioned with the February survey, 2 macro factors going on out there for all school districts in the state of Minnesota this year is the economic insecurity. Your financially stressed is actually down. It's actually down just past statistical significance. It's 58%. It's 53% now, so it is moving in the right direction. We're seeing a bit of a drop now. It seems like now the January, February, March timeframe had the highest level of financial insecurity. But just remember, this is still much higher. Pre-pandemic, this number across the state of Minnesota was about 30%. So we're still significantly higher, but it has stopped climbing as a concern. And this question doesn't ask about their income specifically. It asks about their income and their expenses and how they're matching up. We just checked in on a few atmospherics to see if anything has changed between February and June. And the 2 ones I wanted to test, since you're going through the facilities planning, is does the community think that you're involved, do a good job of involving them? And it is unchanged. It was 70%, this time it's 71%. Norm on this right now is about 66%. So you're stable throughout this process. People still do feel engaged by the process. What about the question, the schools are a good investment and I would support a property tax increase to protect that investment? This is interesting. And that the key number that I always look at here is the disagreement. Because once again, the question does not indicate whether it's a bond referendum, an operating levy, what have you. It's simply that tells you the core opposition. Your core opposition actually went down 2 points, but so did the people saying yes. They shifted into the unsure category. And I think part of that we're going to see in a chart coming up is about they're more aware of the discussions now. So they're kind of waiting to see what comes out before they're going to commit one way or the other. But the key is that you still only have less than 35% indicating that no, they would not support anything. We saw the drop in the financial insecurity. We also see a very large drop in property tax hostility. I said back first part of this year, November 15th last year was like somebody put the light switch on property tax hostility in the state of Minnesota, and it has started to abate, and we see it in your district now. Back in February, the dark green bar, 63% thought their total property taxes were high. This time, 50% that the property taxes are high. On the school taxes, the dark blue bar, 61% think their school taxes are high. This time, 43% say their school taxes are high. So this is moving in the right direction. You still have, you're at 50%, it's still a threshold indicating it's a hostile property tax climate. but you have 13% less folks indicating that it's high. And once again, the good news is if they think their taxes are high, their animus is not focused at the school district, because the school district, the total's 50, the school district drops down to 43. Their hostility, their animus for their hostility is focused more on city and county, more so the school district. That's the good news. The bad news is really the school district's the only show in town that has to go to residents for a property tax increase. Is the district adequately funded? We did not ask this question back in the February survey, but I wanted to ask it in this survey simply because of the legislature and all the magic that they finished up with in May to see if that is impacted. It's very interesting right now. What we're finding since the legislature finished before Memorial Day is a pronounced difference between the metro area and greater Minnesota in people's perception that school district is adequately funded. I think, quite frankly, a lot of greater Minnesota doesn't necessarily believe what the governor says in that sense. And so we see a similar pattern here. The metro area now, this is up to 55 to 60% indicating yes, they're adequately funded. The messaging impacted the metro area. It is not impacting greater Minnesota. And we see that even split here of 48% saying yes, 43% saying no, and 9% are unsure. Switching over specifically to the bond referendum now, are they following the discussions? I think everybody kind of felt bad that when I presented back in February that only 35% were following the discussions. There is a statistically significant increase, 15% up to 50% saying yes, 50% saying no. And just keep in mind on this one, the threshold, you'll never have 100% indicating that they're following the discussions. If you get to 60 to 70%, you're doing an amazing job. So you have more people now aware of what's going on, which also bodes well when you think about that as the district doing a good job of involving the community. You have more people engaged that are actually indicating yes, the district is involving the community. There's more awareness now. What's the predisposition? Well, we have a statistically significant change, and this definitely has to do with the macro indicators. Property tax hostility going down, financial insecurity going down. The core opposition does not change. If they heard the district was going to ask for a property tax increase, are they for all, against all, or are they persuadable? The against all remained at 27%. We always want that to be under 30%, so you maintain that level. You have a 6-point shift from persuadable to for all. So part of that is definitely the macro issues, but probably also with an increase in awareness that the district has following the discussions, you now have more support for items that are being considered. What do folks feel about the $39.9 million bond referendum? At the outset, we have 51% support, 43% opposed, and 6% are unsure. There's not a lot of intensity one way or the other. You can see strong supports at 10%, strong opposition at 9%. And so this is the baseline start of where folks are. When we look at the reason for the position on the bond at this point in time, still, there's been no campaign. Really, there's just been discussion about what's going on with the facilities plan. Right now, they're the soft reasons for support. Education is important. The cost is reasonable. Then need, the 12% need, 11% children. By election day, if you do go forward, need needs to be number one. That's what gets people to the polls. What is the reason for opposition? Well, first off, this tells us that it's not so much plan specific. It's not that you have the wrong plan here. It's the cost factor. 13% are saying the cost is too high, 12% poor spending, 10% taxes are already too high. The poor spending is a universal constant across the state of Minnesota. Every district has between 8 and 12% that will never support anything because of poor spending. And it might be poor spending from last year, it might be poor spending from 30 years ago. They're just entrenched and they're not going to support anything. So the key for point in time is that fiscal component, and that is similar across the entire state of Minnesota. Now, we went through a list of arguments in favor of the bond referendum and then a list of arguments opposed to the bond referendum. We really have two clear winners on this one for arguments that make people much more likely to support. Replacing worn-out heating and ventilation, plumbing, power, roofing, and masonry systems that maintain the building for long-term use. 40% say much more likely, 67% total impact. The other one that has the most impact, many students benefit from career-based hands-on learning in the Agricultural Technical Education Center. Enhancements to these spaces are important as general education classrooms. Same impact, 40 and a total of 67. The security portion, providing a single controlled public entry point to the school, new fire alarm, security cameras, mass notification system protects students and staff. Comes in a very close third, statistical tie with the previous two at 37%. Then we drop down to the low 30s on two items, and that's the students who utilize more technology in the classroom. The district's technology infrastructure needs to keep pace to ensure reliability. And then by providing renovated modern classroom spaces with flexible furniture and adequate storage will help facilitate varied teaching and learning methods to improve the effectiveness of student learning. Those are the top five. Everything else down is all the way, it is less. Three out of the bottom four revolve around the Bird Island as a reason to support. And at the very bottom, the district should maintain a presence in Bird Island and reinvest in athletic and performing arts spaces. Those are the key reasons in support of the bond referendum. What are reasons against the bond referendum and what impact do they have? Well, it's not surprising. Every district, this is the argument this year, and that is with inflation and the cost of living increasing, many cannot afford a property tax increase despite the district's needs. And that goes back to you have people that would support but can't afford to. 34% indicate it makes them much more likely to oppose, 67% impact. We then drop down, and it's interesting the Bird Island question and how it splits. You actually have more people indicating too much is being spent at Bird Island. The argument that we posted is this elementary school, or I'm sorry, $6 million is too much to invest in Bird Island site for the intended purposes. 29% much more likely, 53% somewhat more. The local property taxes are going up too quickly. Homeowners can't afford additional taxes. Then the legislature just increased funding. And then the opposite argument that not enough is going into Bird Island has very little traction. The elementary school in Bird Island should be reopened. Since this plan does not include this, I don't support the bond referendum. And we're going to see in just a chart, in a couple charts, specifically the Bird Island question and where the community lands on that. So they've heard all the arguments in favor, all the arguments in opposition. How do they fall out? They're unchanged from the pre-test, where we didn't give them any information. We've now given them information. There's really no change. You have 51% supporting, you have 43% opposing, and 5% are unsure. So with the community as a whole, we told them, I think it was, I have the correct number, it was $17 a month on the average home of $131,500. With that information, it splits. And it is driven by the cost factors. It's not that the plan is wrong. But when we look at likely voters right now, we can see a marked difference. Likely voters, they had to tell us they're registered to vote, that they're absolutely certain they've always voted in the past, and they're absolutely certain to vote in November. Now this one, there's always a fudge factor. People don't want to admit that they don't vote, just like they don't want to admit they don't recycle. And so on this one, we have 36% falling into the category indicating that they're likely voters. That's on the high side. I would expect in an off-year election, it'd be somewhere in the 20 to 30% range, but your likely voters are very supportive at this point in time. They are motivated. 63% support, 35% 33% opposed, and 5% are unsure. Strong support outpaces strong opposition by 6 points. And so really, this is going to come down to the vote yes committee and who shows up on election day. That's going to be the critical piece on this, because the support is in there for the bond referendum and for the components being tested. Then finally, we asked the question about Bird Island. Would folks support a property tax increase to reopen Bird Island Elementary School? And we told people the language is an option to complete and renovate the Bird Island building and reopen it as an elementary school was evaluated by the facility committee. It was determined it would be more costly to renovate both buildings as well as more expensive to staff and maintain schools annually. Including this option would increase the overall cost and property tax increase for residents. And we saw that there was no clear direction in the previous survey of what folks wanted done with Bird Island. But reopening it as an elementary school, people do not support a property tax increase for that purpose. We have 23% that support. We have 68% that indicate no, and 9% are unsure. If we look at intensity, it's 6% strong yes, it's up, it's more than double the strong no. We followed up with those that said yes, and it is 23%. How much would they be willing to see a property tax for a property tax increase to open Bird Island as an elementary school? They would support about $9 a month. That 23% would. But you still then have that 68% that would not support. The Bird Island issue cuts, I think, but it's a geographic, 20% of the district is in Bird Island, that it really cuts, and it cuts more for Bird Island being, if anything, the land portion of it, the specifics we tested was the district should maintain a presence in Bird Island and reinvest in athletic and performing arts spaces. So with that is all the charts. I'll probably just open it up for discussion at this point.
Does the board want to, you're good with the presentation? Okay. Give us a second. We're adjusting the camera and the microphones back.
I might add that they can get a better picture quality if they watch the facilities committee version of this. And the audio is going to be better, I think, too.
Okay. We're good with the camera?
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion by the board?
No, it's pretty, it's got all the information in there. It's well presented.
The one thing I note is, this June survey had 500 random residents surveyed.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Wilmer School District, they announced on the radio this last week that they just had a survey done by Morris Leatherman, but to survey that district, they did 500 people. So that shows the penetration that was done in the district with this June survey.
I agree.
I think the other part of it, just an overview of it, I don't think there's anybody here that would not like to have a school in Bird Island. I don't think anybody's against it. I just don't think our community can afford it. That's what the people are saying, is we can't afford to do it. I would like a new car. I would like a lot of things, but I just can't do it. And so we're trying to put together, and I think Nexus did a good job of actually coming back to our needs when they first came out. And our initial was $30 a month for a $131,000 home. And people said that was too much. And they revamped it. And they put in the things that we wanted, like being able to have better agricultural classes and to have better space and to move things. And they cut some things out to get it down to a number that the community would accept. And I think that's spectacular. They did what we asked them to do. We're trying to find something to help our kids now. We can't wait much longer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
do we want to hear from any of the facilities committee members if they want to say anything, or?
Yeah, we can open it up.
You don't have to add anything. I just,
That what we've come up with and next is.
You want to
give something.
why don't you come up to the
Come up to the
microphone
mic,
there,
please.
please?
What do you want me to do?
Or just come up closer. So yeah, there you go. Right there you go. You're probably good there.
I just think that plan that we've come up with really gives something to everybody. Everybody's getting something. Is it what everybody wants? No, but it gives something to everybody in every demographic. And I like the plan. I think it's something we should really push for. This isn't the final plan. I mean, there's going to be changes made.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's something we can look at and go moving forward with it.
I'll just add that we did not take the decision lightly, the $39 million. We still realize that's a lot of money for the community to have to spend. And we'd like the district to know that if it is approved, we're not leaving. We're not just going to give Nexus $39 million and say, build what you can. You know, our group is committed to staying there, reviewing the quotes, reviewing all the information, making sure that we get as much as we can for $39.9 million should this pass. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for all the work that you all did on the facilities committee. I know it's been a lot.
Any other discussion?
Do we want to
On the
mention
motion?
that this isn't deciding that we're going to go for a referendum. This is simply, all we're deciding here today is whether or not we should send this forward to the Commissioner of Education to look and give us a review and comment on what we're proposing.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. I guess at that point, then we'd be ready to call for a vote on the motion. So I guess we'll do that. So all in favor of submitting the review and comment document to the MDE, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All oppose, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, with that, the next item on the special meeting agenda is to adjourn. So the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by member Bowen and seconded by member Sheehan to adjourn the special session meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned at 7:28 PM.